Hi friends, thank you for tuning in to the Concussion Coach podcast. I'm Bethany Lewis, the Concussion Coach. I'm a neurological occupational therapist and certified life coach, and I specialize in guiding people through their concussion recovery journey. I am passionate about helping people understand their injury, speed up their recovery, and reclaim control over their life post-concussion. The purpose of this podcast is to help increase awareness of concussions and the impact they can have on a person's life, and to bring hope to people who have suffered a concussion and those who love them. I firmly believe that sharing stories and knowledge about concussions will bring important light and understanding to this misunderstood and often invisible injury. The information in this podcast is meant to bring that awareness and hope and is not meant as medical advice. The opinions shared are those of the interviewees and my own. If you are suffering with lingering concussion symptoms, I have created a concussion coaching program specifically for you. I will be your mentor to guide you through your recovery journey, offering help with understanding and managing your symptoms, setting achievable goals, and learning how to manage your own thoughts and nervous system in order to get control over your life again. If this program sounds like something that would help you or someone you love, sign up for a free consultation. In the consultation, you'll get valuable information and resources and gain hope for your future. Sign up for your free consultation at the link in the show notes or at my website, www.theconcussioncoach.com. Hi friends, welcome back to the Concussion Coach podcast. I am excited to have you here. I am going to be doing another solo episode today, and this is a topic that I feel very passionate about. This is important and a message that I really want people to get into their hearts and heads, and that is that as a person who has had a concussion, you are not responsible for how other people respond to your injury. Let me say that again. You are not responsible for how other people respond to your injury, period. This is something that comes up a lot as I talk to people, and I think is not talked about a lot in the general public. I mean, concussions in general are not spoken of as frequently as they should be, in my opinion, but especially the emotional burden that a person who has a concussion takes on as they are dealing with so many emotions themselves and changes to their lifestyle and pain and symptoms. Like, they're dealing with so much. And then on top of that, a lot of times they're concerned about how they're showing up for the people in their lives and how the people in their lives are responding and reacting to what they are going through. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that people shouldn't care how other people are feeling or, what somebody else's experience might be like. But it is very important to be clear that none of us are responsible for other people's emotions and experiences. We definitely do have influence on each other, and I think that is important. But if you are dealing with an injury like this, then it is really important to remember that you have a lot to deal with, and how other people respond is not on your shoulders. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is true, and I'm going to use a tool that I have come to really love and appreciate to tell my point here. So this tool that I'm going to share with you is called a lot of things, and it's truth, basically. It's kind of the secret to the universe, but the way that this tool specifically is structured was developed by Brooke Castillo of the Life Coach School, and I really, really love the simplicity of it and how linear it is. It's similar to cognitive behavioral therapy and other kinds of mind work, thought work. It's very effective. I want to share it with you guys, and we'll probably be referring back to it in other episodes just because it is so powerful and such a helpful tool. So I'm going to just kind of explain it to you and then talk about how that tool can be used to explain why you are not responsible for how other people experience your concussion. Okay, so there are 5 parts of this model, and they are circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. And I'm going to go through each of these really quickly and kind of explain what they mean. Circumstances are things that happen in our lives. They are words that people say, or weather at the moment, or the number of miles per hour that you are driving currently. They're very factual. They're very boring because they're just the facts. And they can be situations outside of you, or they can be internal things such as, I'm experiencing symptoms today. That can be a circumstance. We tend to give all of the credit for our feelings and sometimes for the results in our lives to our circumstances. That person said this to me and it made me feel this way. or I was late to work today because of the traffic and that threw my whole day off and that's why I'm having such a crappy day today, right? We tend to think that the circumstances of our lives are what cause our feelings and results. But there's a really, really important step between circumstances and feelings in that model that I just explained, and that is thoughts. And this is key. Our circumstances do not create our feelings, our thoughts create our feelings. And this isn't just a nice idea, it's actually science. It is the thoughts that we have that create the release of chemicals into our bodies and that we experience as feelings. And so the thoughts that we think about our circumstances are what create the feelings that we have. And when we have those feelings, those drive the actions that we take in our lives, and ultimately the actions that we take or don't take is what causes the results that we have and experience. So let me give you kind of a neutral example of this just to clarify and try to convince you that this is truth here. So let's say that there are two people who are going to work, and because of the other cars that are on the road, it is looking like they're going to be late. So all of the other cars on the road are making it so that everybody is going 25 miles per hour and the speed limit is 75 miles per hour. So we've got two people in this situation, both going to be late to important meetings at work, okay? That is our circumstance. And actually, technically, if we call it an important meeting, then we're adding some drama, we're adding some opinion to it. So really what we should be saying is it's looking like they're going to be late to a meeting. That's the circumstance. Okay, got to clarify things here. So one person is sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'm going to be so late. This is awful. It's going to throw off my whole day. It's going to be a really big problem. And as they're thinking that, they're probably feeling, those thoughts are driving feelings like frustration, anger, panic, anxiety, right? Those types of feelings will probably be coming from those types of thoughts that they're thinking. And then because they're feeling that way, they might be more likely to take action such as driving angry or being more quick to lay on the horn, or as they're getting out of their car when they finally get to work, really like rushing things and more likely to throw themselves off by responding in a hurried way to whatever comes up. So those actions are going to drive a result that proves their thought true. So again, if the thought was, oh no, this traffic is going to ruin my day, then all of those actions that they were taking will lead them to ruining their own day. Let's take the other person on the road that is in the same situation, again, exact same circumstance. They might be thinking something like, looks like I'm going to be late to this meeting. It's going to be okay. I'll figure it out. It'll all work out. I'll get there exactly when I'm supposed to. So if they're thinking thoughts like that, that's going to drive a feeling of peace or tranquility. I don't know, ease, calm, something like that, right? So if they're feeling that sort of feeling, that's going to lead to an action of driving carefully and normally, not rushing, not pushing themselves past their limits. And it's going to lead to a result that again confirms the thought that everything's going to work out. They made everything work out because of how they approached things. So again, the model is really key to understanding where our power lies in our life. Because if the way that we feel and the results that we get in our lives are dependent on outside circumstances or things that we don't have any control over, then we are completely at the mercy of the things, the people, the situations around us. So this allows us to step out of victimhood and take control of our lives and the experiences that we have. It's really quite powerful and really important work to do for ourselves. This has honestly changed my life. I love the way that the model helps to break down situations into bite-sized pieces. We slow situations down when we think about them in this way and put them into the model. And it allows us to really analyze and understand what is going on for us and what we are creating for ourselves. And then we get a chance to decide what we want to do with it going forward. So giving your power back, super important. I do want to throw a little caveat in here that there is actually kind of another step between the circumstance and the thought. And I had a conversation about this with Leah Davidson a few episodes back. It's number 23 on this podcast. And I'd highly recommend you going and listening to that if you haven't heard it before. It's called How to Befriend Your Nervous System, and it is an excellent conversation and discusses how the nervous system flavors the thoughts that we have access to and the way that we see the world. So a lot of times people who have had a brain injury have dysregulated nervous systems. That is a thing that happens, and again, I don't think that's talked about nearly enough, but that nervous system dysregulation can really impact the degree to which we're able to access our higher thinking and take control of our lives in this way. I still think it's possible, but it definitely is a piece that we need to be aware of and focusing on first to work on calming our system down, de-stimulating, and getting to a sense of safety. Then we can call on these higher thinking powers and be really intentional about the way we want to think about things. So that's all I'm going to say about the nervous system right here, right now. This episode is mostly focused on the model and our thoughts, but I want to make sure that I throw that out there and that you take a chance to listen to the podcast episode with Leah Davidson. It's excellent. Okay, so let's talk now about how this model helps to prove that you are not responsible for others' experience of your concussion. So I'm going to just do a quick overview again of the model. Ready? Circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. It goes linearly like that. We have a circumstance that happens. We have thoughts about it. Those thoughts drive our feelings drive our actions drive the results that we get in our lives. So everybody else is your circumstance and you are other people's circumstance. So your concussion is in the circumstance line of the people around you that you're concerned about. So if your concussion is their circumstance, then their response, their feelings about your concussion are based on their thoughts and their nervous system, not you. You are their circumstance, and we know that circumstances do not cause feelings and results. Circumstances are neutral, and it's the thoughts that we have about the circumstances that create everything for us. And so if somebody else is having a hard time dealing with your concussion, that's not on you. It is because they are thinking something that is making them feel sad or frustrated or whatever. And I think that we need to give room for grief and loss and confusion, right? It's understandable that people around us who love us and care about us would want to feel those kinds of things when they see us struggling in the ways that we do. And so letting them have the space to have the experience that they need to have, I think, is really important. And again, not taking it on as your own emotional burden is very important. So I want to look for a second at their response. However they are acting is your circumstance. Again, you get to choose how you want to think about and feel about their reactions to you. So if they are acting a certain way, if they're frustrated, if they're saying certain words that you can imagine are coming from frustration, you get to choose what story you tell yourself and how you want to feel about that. And that intentionality will allow you to be very purposeful in how you respond and act, and then the resulting relationship that you have with them. So again, the overarching point of all of this is other people and how they act around you and how they are feeling about your concussion experience is their responsibility, not yours. They're your circumstance line, and you get to choose how you want to think, feel, and act about that. And just as a suggestion, a thought that I have found to be very helpful just in life in general, when other people are responding in ways that sometimes may feel challenging to me, is just to give people the benefit of the doubt and assume that they're doing the best that they can. And sometimes their best feels pretty crappy to me, but that's where they're at. That's where their nervous system and their thoughts are leading them. And we're all humans doing the best that we can here. So I just want to throw out there some of the situations that I have heard people talk about where this might come up for them. So sometimes people are worried that their friends and acquaintances will be confused or upset about their decreased social participation. Asking, hey, what's the deal? You were able to hang out with that group last night. Why can't you hang out with us tonight? Sometimes people are worried that their family won't understand why they can't participate in the wedding ceremony of their sibling. Why would they just go and try to sit in a corner and maybe come out for a few minutes but not be part of the ceremony? They might be worried that their spouse will think that they're crazy or think that their coworkers will think that they're lazy or be annoyed because there's more slack that they are picking up now. When we can see how other people's feelings and reactions to us and what we're going through is not our responsibility, then we are so much more free to focus on the things that will help us to get better and to take care of ourselves and focus on what is really important in that moment. Okay, so I hope that I have sufficiently convinced you that you do not have to carry the burden of how other people are responding to what you are dealing with. I hope that the model that I've shared will be a helpful tool for you. Like I said, it has completely changed my life as I apply it and as I break down situations that occur in my life and kind of analyze them and think about them in terms of circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. It really does help to give us our power back and recognize the things that we do have control over and let go of the things that we don't. And how other people respond to what we're going through is one of those things that we don't have control over, and we will be in a much better place if we can let go of that. So I would love to hear any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns that come up as you were listening to this. Please send me an email. My email is bethany@theconcussioncoach.com, or comment on this video or podcast episode. I would really love to hear your thoughts and ways that have helped you to let go of that burden of caring what other people are thinking about your own journey. Thanks for listening, guys. I love you all. Have a fantastic day. I'm so glad you listened in today. I hope you have gained some helpful insights and inspiration regarding dealing with and recovering from concussions. My goal is to create more awareness and education about concussions and the fact that there is so much that can be done to improve life after someone has had one. Help me spread the message by liking, commenting, rating, and subscribing to this podcast, and share it with others who would benefit from hearing it. There are more resources available on my website. And again, if you or someone you love would benefit from concussion coaching, sign up for a free consultation using the link in the show notes or at my website, www.theconcussioncoach.com. Thank you. See you next time, and take good care of that amazing brain of yours.